Gotta do sound check. I think it just got the notification.
Good evening. Always appreciate y'all giving us some time on Tuesdays. We're about to get started here.
Got it.
Oh, I can hear a T.
We're good.
Thank you so much for being with us on a Tuesday night. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangolo. He's Kevin Ricca.
Nice to be here. Nice to be back with you guys. Missed you guys last week. We were out and about calling some hoops, right?
He's Tim Strachan.
You didn't miss me and Ken because we were with you.
I missed you in the basement.
Yeah, the basement
I
missed
did
us.
miss the basement. I
Fine.
did miss the basement.
This
That's
is
for sure.
the
It feels-
WCAC
That
Spectacular.
feels like a spring Tuesday.
Basement Spectacular. It
know,
does.
it's
I'm wearing
exciting.
shorts and a T-shirt. Kind of.
I'm glad you stopped right there because that's all we needed.
That's the full update. That pretty much covers it all, almost. We got another good week of WCAC business to talk about. Appreciate everybody for joining us the last 2 weeks. Watch some pretty amazing basketball up close and in person. We'll be back on the court in a week and a half. We'll be at McNamara February 16th. St. John's at McNamara. Do us a favor. We got a big push for 5 subscribers. So if you're watching tonight and you haven't subscribed, hit the button. 5 subscribers. That's our whole mission tonight. We're literally
Tell a brother.
We're-
Ask a friend.
basementing
Moms
for
usually
5.
like to, sign up. for
5
stuff.
subscribers. Help us
I
out.
don't know. Spread the word. Get it out there.
It's free. It's totally
Mary
free.
Lou. Tell
Yeah.
some people.
There you go.
Come on, Lulu.
Come on.
Lulu.
5 subscribers. In the meantime, the WCAC lumbers on through an awesome winter season. We have been focusing on the hardwood. There's a lot going on. We're going to bring everyone up to date, up to speed on the landscape of the greatest high school conference in the land on both the boys and the girls side, because we are the best on both of those sides. And I want to start with the girls because
Because that's what you're supposed to do.
ladies
Because we're
first.
gentlemen.
Ladies first.
But at the same time, it's easy to turn on ESPN and see Jeremy Roach and Trevor Keels or Hunter Dickinson and Earl Timberlake, to be courtside for our main man Ish and Terrence Williams and all the many awesome boys programs and coaches that we cover, and we'll talk about it. But tops in the nation in terms of high school conference girls basketball. There's no conference that has more teams, more programs, more coaches, more players than the WCAC. If you don't take my word for it, look it up, watch them play. We're going to get that chance next Sunday and in the WCAC tournament. But Kevin, let's talk some rankings. Let's talk about the top 4, top 5 teams. I think it's cool because I'll say Paul VI kind of came out of nowhere. The girls team, that's not true. That's not fair. They didn't come out of nowhere, but they came out of nowhere as far as being number 2 in the country.
Yeah, early on in the year, they jumped up to number 2 in the country. They started off unranked because some people don't have quite the knowledge that we have locally,
right.
and not just us, anyone affiliated with the WCAC. But after a strong showing to start off their season, they vaulted right up to the number 2 spot, and they're all of it. They've been ferocious. They had a good week this week, taking down Seton and St. John's, 2 of the other top 5 teams in the conference. Paul VI is awesome. We saw him play last year. I love their style. These young ladies, they spot up, they spread the court, they have great spacing, and man, they're incredible shooters, and they're not afraid to pull the trigger. We've seen a lot of that last year, and we noticed they were going to be very good this year by the looks of their roster.
Yep.
But I don't know if anyone could have predicted, like you said, heading up into the number 2 spot in the country. But they've proven it. They've shown their chops. They beat St. John's twice in the last 2 weeks. And the first time, 55-27. A lot of people looked at that score and went, whoa. And you know what? It's what happens some nights. Some nights that's
Good
what
victory
happens.
lap for the Lady Panthers.
Absolutely. It's awesome that they're that good this year, especially, with their boy counterparts on the other side. These are 2 of the, pristine premier programs in the nation on the boys and girls level. Those rims over there at Paul VI are not used to a lot of home court misses. They got some serious ballers.
The word you used best was programs. They're true programs. They are going to bring in good players. They're going to spit out great players. But it's a machine.
Yeah.
And that's why, I agree with you, Ken, that you kind of hesitated when you said, surprise, because it wasn't a surprise. When you have a program like that, you're always going to be in the mix and should be.
And they certainly are right now in second place with an 11-2 record in the league. And, the ladies play 18 games. They have 10 teams in the ladies division, 11 in the boys. So an 18-game regular season schedule. They're 13 of the 18 the way through, coming down the home stretch here with a pretty firm grasp on second place and, nipping at the heels of the Mustangs, who are just dominating.
Undefeated in the conference, and that will be put to the test
13-0
regularly between now and the tournament. So it sounds great today, and it feels great, but at the same time, there's almost not a gym that they're about to go into, and then they have some good games coming up, including obviously the St. John's Cadets, who have played very well with and without AZ Fudd behind Coach Scribner and that staff. So. And then they're firmly implanted, in the top part of the conference.
They're right there tied for third with the O'Connell Knights. Those ladies have been playing great. They knocked off St. John's earlier in the season. They've got some great wins. 9 out of 13 games, you bring home a win in this division. You're playing some ball. Those two teams tied for third place, and they can beat any one of those two teams on a given night. We know that. We've seen that. St. John's, got beat by McNamara this past week. I'm sorry. I apologize. They beat Holy Cross and Good Counsel this past week. McNamara and them will not square off till we will be there in the catbird seat, I believe.
That's right.
Can't wait to get you up there.
Up
it's
in
gonna
the
be
corner.
awesome.
Oh God, where's Joe Murphy? Then bring it up now, buddy.
I don't think the little carrying chair is going to help.
The magic chair?
Yeah.
We got to give it a whirl.
There's got to be a ceiling-mounted crane situation for that one.
No, but listen, St. John's has a bit of a. Nothing is negative at all about getting AZ Fudd back. I don't need to say that out loud, but it's a total different dynamic to the team.
Absolutely.
The way she ingratiates herself, though, how she plays basketball, it's not like she needs the ball. She needs a ton of shots. She is one of those players that allows the game to come to her, and she's a huge factor. But they have to relearn what they are all about heading into the postseason. And I think Coach Scribner is certainly excited that they've got a couple weeks before this tournament kicks off to get AZ into the flow of things.
Well, knowing Scribner and just being a coach ourselves, right, coaching our kids and the like, when you've got a little bit of time to not necessarily, you don't have to go full bore right now. You got some tricks now that you're not going to show. And Scribner's going to do that. And then AZ's going to turn it up when it comes time, around tournament time. So I know we're going to talk about the boys' side, but it just feels like McNamara right now, being the undefeated team in the girls' side of the ledger, they are so comfortably in the lead right now. Unlike the boys' side, which has an undefeated team, but I wouldn't say it's comfortable. Over here, it seems a little bit more comfortable, but it's gonna be fireworks when the tournament time comes around.
Well, listen, let's not forget one more team I want to say with a winning record, the Seton Roadrunners, Coach Dave Bell.
Coach Bell.
He's our guy. He's just a great guy.
He runs a great concession stand.
He runs a great concession stand, and right now he's in year 2 of starting off a ridiculous girls basketball program.
Yeah.
Not team like you said earlier. Dave's got the vision for a program there, and he's really, really. I think it was January 11th. They took McNamara to double overtime and lost by a bucket.
That's right. And they were in the tournament last year.
Oh yeah.
And the soccer team made it to the finals this year. So the Roadrunners got something going on down there. And Coach Commissioner Colin Toney said it best when he talked about how great it was and is for a small school we haven't heard a lot out of in a while to be playing so well in this conference. I love it. I mean, Seton's been there forever. We all have friends who went to Seton, and it's not the forgotten WCAC school. I was trying to have this conversation the other day. What's the forgotten WCAC school? Seton was in the mix. We were talking about the fact that we got to say the name because they deserve to be appreciated. They've been around for a long time, and they've been good at stuff over the long time, over the long haul. And Coach Bell is reaching back and pulling that history forward. It's fun to see. It's fun to see him be competitive.
I'm going to go with Mackin on that forgotten school, the political answer.
Sure.
Don't want any trouble from anyone.
I don't want any trouble.
No.
I don't want any trouble.
No.
So we'll be seeing the awesome matchup that is the Cadets and Mustangs next Sunday. On the boys' side, as T said,
That's must-see streaming, man.
it is must-see streaming. You will not regret watching any of that game. I promise you.
Especially with our new outfits. Woo!
That is. I think Darren would be butter popcorning it the entire way.
Don't get any stains on this. Come on, man.
On the boys' side,
All right.
it's just fun because like you said, no one can comfortably in the lead, but it's such a high level brand of basketball, and the coaches are so good. And also, when you can see the evenly matched talent, right? And some teams have a couple more guys, but at the end of the day, there's just amazing talent all throughout the league. But then all of a sudden, in the nooks and crannies, when you see what Coach Turner does, or Coach Bean, or Coach Ferrello does,
Coach Jones.
Coach Jones does, our main man, Coach Vini, all of them. We need to say all their names, but it's a great conference because it really allows for great coaches to do things that great coaches really couldn't do, most other places in the country. And that, to me, that makes it fun. Watching Coach Turner, some of his interpretive dancing on the sidelines the other night in the gym at St. John's, I mean, he it's like the whistle blows, and all of a sudden he's just he was breaking it down.
Yeah.
They're letting you know exactly how he felt through his dancing.
Yeah, we need a Turner cam coming up
We do
here.
need a Turner
But I
cam.
love that you brought it up talking about the coaches of this ridiculous conference, because I'm looking at the top 3 teams right now. You got DeMatha 11-0, Paula 6 12-2, and Gonzaga 11-3. That has nothing to do with tonight's games, which I'm sure we'll be getting updates on here shortly, but
That's right.
probably after we're off air. Anyways, how about having the top 3 teams in the conference have all been the National Coach of the Year?
Wow.
Is this the ACC? I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, can you imagine how many high schools play basketball? I mean, we had the football numbers early in the year. It was insanity. Over 30,000 high school football teams. There's got to be
Probably
60,
3 times
70,000 high school football basketball
Easily.
teams out there. And 3 of the National Coaches of the Year, they set up shop right here in this conference. That's not saying it anything against the other coaches. Coach BN, Coach Kissel doing a great job at Good Counsel this year. I mean, talk about a turnaround. I think they won 2 games in the league last year. They've won 10 already this year. That's ridiculous.
Wow.
But 3 guys with National Coach of the Year accolades under their belt, going up against each other week in, week out. That's why we watch. That's why we hope you guys tune in and watch when we do it. And that's why we're all so excited about this tournament, man. I haven't been looking forward to something like this in a long time. We've been around these kids a while. It's coming down to it.
Panache. It's a total event. You won't regret having it on in the background if you're at your vacation house, or if you're hanging out in your basement, or if you're doing something. Just having it on, you're going to see something great happen. I promise you, and it's not going to be anything we do. We'll do our best to make sure that we cover it appropriately, though.
Right, yeah. Well, we're trying to stay out of the way and make sure the spotlight is where it's supposed to be on. Because
Eric Anderson played Montrose Christian, he says. That was not WCAC, buddy.
So I'm going to talk from my DeMatha alum hat.
Okay.
Because I had mentioned how comfortably it seems the McNamara girls are right now on that side. DeMatha, 11-0, number 2 in the country right now, playing ridiculous basketball. I can remember there are some years where DeMatha is clearly in control of the league throughout. You run the table during the regular season. You run the table at tournament time, right? You don't get that feeling here. You can't get that feeling here. And as an alum, I almost look at it a lot like when Maryland won the national championship. I was so relieved when they lost in the ACC tournament that year, because I was like, oh, all right, they got that out. They got that loss behind them. They only have to go 6-0 from here. It makes me nervous as an alum watching how well these guys are playing right now, but this league is so dangerous that you almost hope they don't make it the whole way not having a loss. They've got to find that balance at some point, because if you're going into the tournament undefeated, running the table in this league during the regular season, it only takes one. It only takes one slip up from there. They haven't had that slip up, I don't think, in the league right now, and that makes me nervous.
No, since their loss to Montverde, they've rattled off 15 straight.
That's crazy.
And I think 5 of those 15 are against nationally ranked teams. So, they're playing some ridiculous ball. Coach Jones has got these guys on the same page, and I think, guys, they have something specific to the league this year. Only they have the X factor. Hunter Dickinson, 7'2", outstanding passing big man, heading to Michigan to play for Coach Howard. There's not a lot of size at the top of this league. You know, we've
Nope.
seen Gonzaga, Paul VI, and St. John's up close and personal. You know, we haven't seen good counsel yet, but, you know, they're always a threat. But right now, I think having a 7'2" guy, to me, is the X factor heading down the stretch and into the tournament. Not to mention the way Hunter's been playing. You know, we've been
Yes.
seeing him play senior basketball.
It's more about the way Hunter's been playing.
Without a
I
doubt.
haven't seen him play this way. Now, I hear he plays this way a lot in Team Takeover, but again, and I may have explained this before, but Darren explains it really well. When he's playing for Team Takeover, he's playing against 6'10", 6'11", 7-footers on a regular basis, because that is that's national. That's they're going all over the place playing each other that way. Here in this in this league, he doesn't have a comp in terms of the size and the ability at that size. And when he's playing against smaller competition, he can get banged a little bit more. He's not going to get the foul calls. He's not. That's why he looks always frustrated. It almost like it evens it out for him if somebody's at his level. Without having somebody at his level, it's really difficult. He's been playing different this year, in my opinion, though. He has definitely been taking over games and dominating in ways that I hadn't seen him do before in the league.
I agree with you, T. I think letting, the Mikey Squares bang on you. I don't care if you're 7'2"
That
and
wears on
made
you,
of
man.
muscle. That guy, Mikey Square, and other 6'6", 6'7" defenders around the league.
Studi.
Terrence Williams, Studi is definite and absolute. They let you get away with a little bit. It's frustrated him. It's gotten to him a little bit, and we've seen a little bit of that. Not this year so much. This year we've seen him just put the ball down, get to the rack, head down, not a lot of conversation with the officials. It's called becoming a senior, and nothing against him as a junior. That's frustrating. It has got to be frustrating.
And I wish we could actually ask Mike, is there something he's doing as a coach differently to help put him in the positions to be more dominant?
His
than he has in the
experience
past.
dealing with this for the last few years, I think, it's come to a head. What are you going to do? You can't just keep banging your head against the wall
Right.
and begging for calls. At this point, you just got to understand they're going to be draped all over you. It's going to be what it is. It's part of being a big man. And in this conference, no one's feeling sorry for you. So he's going to make sure that people are feeling sorry about playing against him, and that's what he's been doing. And that's how you take your team as the president of the senior class, Hunter Dickinson, to a number 2 national ranking. And with no apologies to Montverde, it's one of the greatest high school basketball teams ever, talent-wise.
Yeah.
But the math is as good as it gets nationwide right now.
Yep.
And when you got a coach like that coming from a historical program, I'm going to tell you one thing. With that Morgan Wooten patch on the jersey, I don't know if I want to be running into those guys anytime soon.
I
They'll
think they
be.
need to be humbled. I know they're not going to like to hear me say that, but as an alum,
You just want that loss to come in the season, not the tournament. That's all.
Just get it out,
as a
you know?
fan.
If you're going to get it.
Yes.
Or conversely, T, just run the table all the way.
Or just do that.
Yeah.
Just saying, one or the other.
Well, a table running in this conference, I don't foresee.
Yeah.
I just don't. I don't see it.
That's why it
It's-
makes me nervous.
It's
I've seen
There's
the
too
talent.
much talent.
I've seen the talent on the other teams, and
the idea is to stop the skid. You don't want to have a 3-game. If you lose a game and learn from it, that's one thing. But
Yeah.
all of a sudden you have a 3 or 4 game streak, and you're treading water. That's what you try and avoid. You don't want to have to dig yourself out of a hole at this point of the season.
Right.
I don't foresee that being a problem over in Hyattsville or in Fairfax or in D.C. or out in Olney. These guys, everyone's going to take their shot at it. I don't see DeMatha losing 3 straight at this point, but who knows? Who knows in this league? I shouldn't say any of that. All I know is I am so excited to watch these guys play on the 23rd and the 24th. It's been a long time since I've thought, man, the matchups they're tantalizing.
And speaking
Some of these guys have
Joe
done it
Wooten,
against
though,
each other
too,
for a
over
long
at
time.
O'Connell doing some great things
Yeah.
too. I mean, they've got some national wins under their belt.
Yeah,
as
they had
well.
a big win against Mater Dei, but they had a tough week, man. 3 losses to Good Counsel, Carroll, and McNamara this week. Bit of a setback for them. So you got 11-0 DeMatha, 12-2 Paul VI, 11-3 Gonzaga, then at 10-4 Good Counsel, and we talked about G.J. Kissel and the comeback and how he's got his kids playing. St. John's at 10-5, McNamara with a winning record at 8-7. Then you get to Carroll, O'Connell, Bishop Ireton, the Heights, and St. Mary's Riken to wind it up. St. Mary's Riken, we got to give them a shout out. Got their first win of the season. Got off the schneid against the Heights, and that's good. You don't want to root against someone. My team actually got a win yesterday. We were 0-8, and I'm very proud of my guys. It's just such a relieving feeling. You know, when you have great kids and they work as hard as anyone, you know, the measure of the kids is no different than, you know, it's different than the talent on the court, but all these kids are great kids. And we've seen a lot of that. Happy for you guys down there at St. Mary's Reich, and congratulations to the Knights, especially the seniors on that squad, to get that W in conference.
Well, those
play.
kids are going to be winners in anything they do going forward, having the experience of playing in a league like this. You know, the hard work that you're right, the hard work they put in may not always show up, but it builds a lot of character, and it builds you as a basketball player and a person.
To be able to smile after one W in conference, that's all I'm saying. I'm glad for those boys.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we're going to take our hats off. We're going to talk about some talent. We're going to switch from the hardwood to the gridiron because we do have some awesome news to pass along. This week was announced, made official at St. John's, that Pat Ward, who's been on the coaching staff there, we'll talk about his history a little bit, and we're going to do it because he's a friend of ours and he's a very good man, and everyone is deliriously happy about this news. It was good news in an otherwise
deserved.
I don't know. It seems like sometimes we don't get enough good news, and you don't have to be from St. John's to feel good about this. Best wishes and congratulations to a job well done for Coach Casimeno. Thoroughly enjoyed talking to him, getting to know him.
He's been in the basement.
He has been in the basement.
Yep.
He sure has.
Yep.
So that's kind of,
And we've been
bit of a made man.
and we've had the opportunity too to sit around with him and the coaching staff, and after a couple games this past season, and just get to know them as people, and enjoyed all the old stories he had to tell, about what was it, Paulus?
Oh yeah,
Right.
Greg Paulus.
Greg Paulus. He would tell stories about that, and he's had such a distinguished career, and to come here and do what he did, was pretty unbelievable, and I think we're all, the better for it.
We absolutely wish him the best, and I know St. John's is better off for having him here. And moving forward on the sidelines will be Pat Ward leading the charge.
Well, let me just say about Coach Kaz real quick. Pat Ward's the first guy that said to me, what a great job and how proud he was of him as a mentor for the last 4 years. Learned a lot from him. Coach Kaz ran the regular season in the WCAC undefeated for the last 3 seasons, which is a feat that has not been accomplished in a couple decades. And he had an excellent win-loss percentage against top-ranked teams. He brought a lot of pride and a lot of nostalgia back to the St. John's Cadets football program, and absolutely want to wish him well, my own, on his way. And like T said, what an amazing coaching career he's had. But now that he's gone, and then there was things up in the air and people were a little unsure, any St. John's alum that I've talked to, bumped into, texted, or called, we've been celebrating, man.
Should.
When you got a guy that's been at St. John's for 25 years out of the last 29. I mean, he only spent 4 at Maryland because he had to go to college. He didn't want to leave. And this is a homeboy. This is my brother.
Wow.
He's in my wedding, one of my most loyal friends for life. I couldn't be prouder. He earned it. He earned it. He did it the hard way.
Yeah.
He sat through 21 years of coaching on 4 different staffs. I just want to say the one thing before I well up here and lose my marbles, because I'm so happy about this, is that we all sat there 2 years ago. St. John's got upset in the semifinal playoff game at home by Gonzaga. Crazy game. We did it. We were there. As we were packing up our equipment, probably 45 minutes to an hour after the game, we're taking down everything. We're all still kind of stunned by what we saw. We looked out onto that field, and senior tackle Drew Bergeron, who's at Colgate right now, was just distraught. An hour after the game, he knew that was his final high school football game. He's got his helmet down. He's got his head between his knees, hands over his head. And we sat there watching his O-line coach, arm around him, for a good half an hour, 45 minutes. Just, trying to tell him it's not the end of the world.
That's right.
I know it's a sad time, but I'm right here with you. From the second you walked into this program till the second you walked off this field, I'm going to walk off with you, with my O-lineman. And that's what Pat Ward has done for countless kids over 21 years. Ask anyone that's ever played for him what he means to them. You're going to get a similar answer. And that's what I love about it. We got a homeboy coming back, a great family man, a great man of character, and a guy that I am, as my son's in 4th grade, I can't wait to have my son in a building with Pat Ward there. I'm not saying that's how it's going to work out, but that's when you drop your kid off at school and you head on down the road sitting in traffic and think that everything's going to be all right.
That's right.
Well,
because there's a man like that in the building.
And with Morgan Wooten passing, I think it's appropriate at this point to say, Morgan did it in my opinion, for so long because of that reward. It was not a materialistic reward. It was not a monetary reward. Coaching at this level takes a special person because they do get such satisfaction out of helping mold young people. And Pat is your quintessential guy to do that. And that's the reward I think that Pat has already received and will continue to receive now as the head coach. But it's also the reward the kids are going to get for having Pat in that position. So
the kids are so happy.
And it falls in line with all the other, the coaches, the Bill McGregors, the Trivers, the Stefanellis. You just keep going down the line. I mean, it just adds to an already great league.
Yep. The tradition of Pat Ward as a cadet, as a man of the WCAC. He knows this league inside and out. He's followed it the way we have since we were kids, looked up to it, honored it, respects it, will treat it with respect, and that's all you can ask. And, he joins a great fraternity of coaches that are already in place in all sports. But, Pat's a bit of a special one. He's our own. He's our crown jewel, our Pat Ward.
One of us.
Yeah.
Yep.
And at St. John's, he's certainly
he's
ours.
That, but
Yeah, well, you know
Sorry.
what? It is what it is.
To
You know what?
associate ourselves with you.
I'll
We've
tell
already
you.
adopted you, Pat.
Yeah, I mean,
It's good. Those Miller Lights are going to be colder and better tasting than any Miller Light I've ever had on that first the one we hoist after that first W that he gets.
There you
Whatever
go.
it is.
And by the way, we are willing to celebrate with all coaches.
That's right.
All
Yeah.
wins.
Come on.
We don't
It's
discriminate
kind of
on
what we
that.
do.
Yeah.
We're not coaching anything. No one's yelling at us. Well, someone might be yelling at us about the broadcast, but
Coach
not
Bell
about-
is listening,
not-
but there's a reason why we brought
Exactly.
you up. You're doing some things down there. We expect
exactly. So don't start. No, don't reach out and say, "Oh, there's a St. John's thing
Bill,
or the
that
Matha
means
thing."
that means
No.
it's on you at the
Yes.
S&J
Yes.
afterwards, or at
Yes.
Lido's, I think it is.
It's time.
Yeah.
And
It's
I do
time.
expect Vini to join us in the rafters next Sunday for some celebration of some kind.
Yeah, Coach Turner came down here last year to celebrate that championship and that
That's right.
tournament. We got Coach Gibbs has come down. Listen, we're great celebrators. Let's embrace it. We're not going to deter
Not
from
going to
it.
shy away from it.
No,
Not now.
no, not in this,
Too much,
not in this league.
Too much time down here in this
I
basement.
mean, Joe Gallagher himself said it. I might have lost a few games, but I never lost a party. So you know what? That was a man I looked up
I
to.
don't think I have either.
Yeah, well,
Awesome.
I think we've taken a few down on the same side of that one.
We
All
may
three
be
of us,
we may be undefeated in that whole category.
and we certainly dominate Tuesday nights. So keep that in
and
mind.
if you weren't here for the beginning, big push tonight. Push for 5 subscribers. We're going to get
The push
5
for
subscribers.
5. The
It's
push for 5.
AGH, get the cat to subscribe.
Yes,
please, will
if you haven't hit the subscribe button and you're checking us out at the end of the WCAC show, hit that button. Get us up and over 2,000 this week, and come on back in about 5 or 10 minutes when we start talking Redskins and a few other teams of note in this Washington D.C. area: WCAPs, Nats. Got talk a little bit about some teams in the middle 2010s. They're not the best part of the 2010s, but still some highlights that we experienced as sports fans in D.C. around that time. Some of them happened, by the way, in the WCAC, if we're being honest, as they tend to do. Some of the best highlights in D.C. every year have been in this high school conference. I couldn't go writing my six-pack for my Redskins column today without going straight to the WCAC. I just came right out because I was talking about Kendall Fuller. And I think we talk about the WCAC in this basement. Everyone's talking about Chase Young, and we might be drafting Chase Young for the Washington Redskins. Yeah, also a WCAC player. I know most people on here obviously already knew that. But a lot of the folks, Redskins fans who are, all places around the globe, have no idea what great little slice of amazingness
Don't
there
forget
is
Dorian also from
Well,
the
of course.
council.
Dorian
course.
O'Daniel lined up, got himself a tackle in the game, but wasn't it
former Redskin, but not WCAC.
wasn't it fitting that the
Hey,
this
John
year's
Levitt
football season?
also was an injured player on the Kansas City Chiefs practice squad all year. So
I was going to say, wasn't it
Former
fitting
guy.
that the football season ended this year with a WCAC guy making a play?
That's exactly
No
what
more
happened.
football this
That's
year.
right.
There's no more football this year because a WCAC guy said so.
And that
was
catch
pretty cool.
was insanely good.
It
There was
was.
a
It was.
above
Yep.
average, next level athletic play.
Good counsel with some football magic this year, pulling the title off, throwing out two guys on the winning Super Bowl team, and the closer, Kendall Fuller, ending things. That's hey, how about you, Falcons? You deserve to celebrate with us on the Tuesday.
That's right.
Our schedule's wide open.
Tim Reddy, where's your song?
Yeah,
we need
man.
a Kendall Fuller song because you guys definitely do deserve it.
Yeah.
We'll be back next Tuesday night, everybody. We'll be talking about the WCAC, the greatest high school conference in the land, top to bottom, side to side, boys and girls. We believe it, and they prove it. Until then, he's Tim Strachan.
Hey, don't forget the hardwood too. You got Markel Folks, Jerry and Grant. You got Quinn Cook, guys that are from the league doing some incredible things on the NBA hardcourt as well, man. Let's keep doing it every Tuesday.
Yeah, after
Come
we
on
just
back.
saw Anthony Cowan help take down Rutgers here for the Terps, and
That's right.
we got all kinds of stuff going on. As I sign off, I just want to say my finals. You know, I'm so excited. It's a brand new era here at St. John's, and a guy
It
like
is.
Pat Ward, I can't get over it. But for all you guys out there that are playing right now, that might have aspirations to coach someday, this is a two-time All-Met, two-time all these teams.
Go
we
Terps.
can keep them right here. You know, right
Yeah.
right within 15-mile radius of the basement, and we'll see what happens.
Their crib.
Hey, keeping it at the crib.
Keeping it
Staying at the
at
crib with it.
the crib
You know, I think
with
that's
it.
I think that's what you got to do. And
We need
crab
that song
crib.
produced immediately.
yeah, why not? But it's awesome. There's a buzz going around here, and we could use some winning football. And there ain't no better place to get winning football players than this conference right here. Coach Loxley's got that one figured out apparently. So we'll see what happens moving forward.
He
But,
is
Smart man.
Kevin
hey,
Ricka.
and until next week, be a good sport.
Stay grounded, be rounded.
I'm not going to let you get out. It's been a while in the basement. The
It's not
basement
that
needs
great
it.
of a catchphrase. I thought it was awesome when I first used it.
It'll get
It
better
makes
over time.
sense.
In 50 years,
I
it's
think
going
it's
to be
telling
that
everyone.
much better.
I feel like you're pointing at me to get chubbier,
Basically,
which is
just
tough. It's gonna
stay
be tough
grounded.
to do. Yeah.
The be rounded part is just be more than just an athlete.
Okay.
Fair enough. That's pretty deep.
Deep thoughts.
It's deep thoughts by Tim Strachan. Until next Tuesday night,
Gosh darn it.
on
People
behalf of
like
First Amendment
me.
Sports, I am Ken Marangolo, and this was the WCAC Spectacular.
Hey,
Thanks,
on
everybody.
the board.
Appreciate
On
y'all.
the board. Come back. Give us 5-10 minutes. 5 or 10. We'll be right back.
Thanks, guys.